light picked out scuffed footsteps in the dust and droppings, overlaid by the blood trail. He followed it into another room that was lined either side by mouldy booths. The blood and the footprints disappeared beneath a ragged tapestry of an imperial knight that was hanging on the far wall. 3 distinct voices rose suddenly to a sharp crescendo, freezing him in place. He waited until the shouting stopped before drawing the tapestry aside. Steps leading down were lit by a sliver of light stealing from around a door at the bottom. He headed down.
"Oh, do fuck off, Ludo! That was never the plan!"
a woman snapped. 2 voices answered in unison. Something about them made his skin crawl. That was it. He'd thrown the dice and come up short on guts. He headed up the stairs more quickly than he'd descended, until he was eye level with the top step, whereupon he pulled up sharply. The dog rat sitting on the step slowly blinked its amber eyes. The beast was dirty grey and easily half his size, with a muscular body, claws made for disemboweling, and yellowed incisors as long as his fingers. "Shoo!" he hissed unconvincingly, the breath catching in his throat. The rat's whiskers twitched, but it didn't move. "Go on! Fuck off!" He looked round for something he could throw at it. The rat's mouth widened as though it was smiling. Defeated, he backed down the steps, and as much as he didn't want to, stole a peek around the door. Breed was laying on the floor, slumped against a yellowing throne made entirely from what looked like dog-rat bones. A thin woman wearing a yellow gown was standing with her back to Breed. She was toe-to-toe with a monstrous, 2-headed creature possessed of a massive crab-like pincer. Johann shrank back. He'd made a terrible, possibly fatal mistake coming down here. He glanced over his shoulder. The giant rat had quietly descended a few more steps. It bared its fangs. It might have been a yawn, or it might have been displaying its impressive teeth in an attempt to intimidate him. Erring on the side of caution, Johann slipped into the room. Crates were piled by the door, and as luck would have it, one had tipped on its side. The lurid green drapes it had contained had been dragged out and shredded by sharp claws. Shaking, Johann crawled inside the crate and put his eye to a gap in the slats. He locked eyes with Breed, saw a brief flash of carmine light in his saviour's yellow eyes before they faded to cloudy grey. A bottle of wine slipped from Breed's lifeless hand and rolled across the floor. Spilled wine mingled with blood. One stain became another. "I knew it. I knew I'd be too late." And now he was trapped. At the sound of the bottle falling, the woman's head snapped around. Her custard-coloured skirts billowed as she dropped down beside Breed. Johann expected her to cry, to gently embrace the dying hero. Instead, she grabbed Breed by the shirt. "Oh no, you fucking don't!" she snarled, shaking the body. Johann was sure that if nothing else, the cold fury of her voice would give death pause before claiming Breed. Although, given the look on her face, the woman didn't seem content to merely cause death to hesitate. She seemed intent on denying the Reaper its due. The hair on his neck stood on end. He tasted sweet iron as the air grew oppressive, like a storm was brewing in the confines of the cellar.
"Dear friend?"
The twisted thing tilted its head questioningly. "Shut up, Ludo!" The creature flinched at the sharpness of her tone and backed away. She began to incant. As soon as they left her mouth, the strange words took on a life of their own. They lingered in the air, seemed to crawl over the walls and slither across the floor. The pitch rose and fell, became harsh and sibilant by turns as the chant built in power. Johann put his hands over his ears, tried to block out the painful noise hammering through his skull. Light and sound concentrated around the woman. He rubbed his watering eyes. He was mistaken. The light wasn't being drawn to her. It was coming from her.
"If you think you're going to fucking die and deny me the right to fucking well make it up to you, you've got another thing coming,"
she growled. The light grew sharp as knives, poured from her into Breed's lifeless body. Sweat coursed down her haggard cheeks. Johann squinted against the painful glare, but couldn't tear his gaze away. The 2-faced thing's glittering eye stalks retracted. It half turned and raised its giant pincer, as though to shield its faces.